Good morning, Dawgpound South campers, and happy Easter. This is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. It's a gorgeous Sunday morning here in Nashville. It's about 48 degrees, feels like 44. Got maybe an inch of rain last night overnight, which we desperately needed here in Tennessee. And needed a lot more of it because it's going to be a whole week before we get any more rain down here. But that's typical for this time of year. So the draft just can't get here soon enough. It just can't. Things have gotten so weird this week. But first, let me give you a heads up. The streaming rights for the NFL is getting close to $16 billion. That's a lot of money. So basically what you're going to see is you will probably no longer stream in-game content on social media. I have a feeling the NFL is going to crack down on that. Just a little heads up, it's all about the dinero when it comes to the NFL. Hard to believe they're a charitable, registered with the government, with the IRS, as a charitable institution. Yeah, they are. So a lot of weirdness going on this week, a lot of crap being thrown against the wall. And, if you're a beat writer, a national writer, you got to talk about something. I mean, the draft is over 2 weeks away. And some of this stuff is just ridiculous. I've had this conversation with you, and I've had this conversation with John and Sam on the Fanatical L show on Thursday night about Deshaun Watson. And then I went back and I thought, well, let me see. I know what Jimmy Haslam said. Jimmy Haslam, he is not the decision maker if Watson is going to play or not. I don't care what the media tells you. He does not say, hey, you've got to play this guy. That does not happen, but it makes for great clickbait for your morning radio shows. Basically, anyway, Jimmy Haslam's trying to repair his reputation. He's the laughing stock of the NFL owners because he gave Deshaun Watson, and it was his decision, $200 and whatever $1 million guaranteed contract. It was his decision. And he's a laughing stock, and a lot of owners hate him because of it too. He's trying to repair his reputation. That's why he gave that little bull crap answer. I always say NFL owners should do very few things. They should wave at the crowd, and they should sign the checks. Those are your two jobs, Jimmy. Stick with it. So I went back and looked and see what Munkin said about Deshaun Watson. Now, he did what the media picked up on that he said he didn't watch a lot of past tape. Okay. All right. Going in with an open mind. I can see that. But his exact quote is, I know he's going to be on the roster. I know we're going to evaluate him. Where in those two sentences do you get Deshaun Watson has a chance to start for the Cleveland Browns in 2026? That is tepid at best. It also is an out if he doesn't start or he's put on the PUP list. I mean, from that statement, you're going to say that he has a chance to start? Again, let's review. 3 ACLs, 2 torn Achilles, reconstructed shoulder, hasn't played a complete season since 2020. He did set an NFL completion record. I believe it was over 72%. He threw a lot of touchdowns, but he also got sacked a ton. He runs into sacks. That's just the way he is. Shedeur Sanders did it at Colorado. He was sacked like 94 times between his 2 college programs. He runs into sacks. So I don't see that statement. I know he's going to be on the roster. Wow, that's an endorsement. Yeah, he's going to be on the roster one more year, and then starting next year, second day of the league year, he's freaking off the roster. I know we're going to evaluate him. Well, yeah, you're the head coach. You evaluate everyone. Also, off-season programs start for 10 teams in the NFL, I believe, on Tuesday, the 7th. You're going to get a lot of hype. You're going to hear a lot of garbage from local and national media. I just, some of the crap out there just amazes me. So just remember, it's all a grain of salt, and it's only the first off-season program, the very first one. It's kind of like a combine, but for single teams. Let's take a quick break. Another thing that amazes me, and I know a lot of people picked up on this. Andrew Berry said they may not be picking at 6. Well, yeah, that's true. They might not be picking at 6. That is as close as you're going to get to a leak for this front office. That is it. That sentence is it. That is your Cleveland Browns 2026 front office leak of the year. That's it. So, and you should think about that, because it is possible. I mean, he has certain trade deals worked out since the combine. He did last year with Jacksonville, that trade down from 2 to 5. Everybody assumed the Browns were going to take Travis Hunter 2 and try to trade back up into the first round and get Shedeur Sanders. That was the talking point for weeks going into the draft. Didn't happen. So that is your best leak. This front office does not leak. Nobody knew they were trading for Amari Cooper. Nobody knew they were trading for Elijah Moore. Nobody knew they were going to trade for Jerry Jeudy. Nobody knew they were going to trade for Kenny Pickett last year. Nobody knew they were going to trade away Kenny Pickett. Nobody knew they were going to sign Joe Flacco right before the first day of the draft. So this front office does not leak, but that is good as you're going to get. And it's as vague as you're going to get. So I don't know if they're going to trade or not. I do know one thing: these people pushing Tyler Simpson and Caden Proctor for the Browns, now we're getting really, really ridiculous. Neither one of those two players are first-round talents. Tyler Simpson, I thought he had his 15 minutes 2 weeks ago. Apparently, it's lingering. The kid is not a first-round talent. Not a first-round talent. Let me tell you, there's one first-round talent, and that's Mendoza, and he's sketchy. If you go back and look at the games he played against inferior talent, he struggled a little bit. So he's not a plug-and-play. That's why the Raiders got Kirk Cousins. Raider fans are sitting there going, well, Mendoza's going to start. Not necessarily. They're paying Kirk Cousins to start. And that's another thing. Kirk Cousins is the perfect example why you cannot get a franchise quarterback anymore. This guy made a bag of money and is still making a bag of money. That's crazy. All right, so Caden Proctor. Look, NFL teams are getting away from these behemoth tackles. There used to be a distinction that you had to have a left tackle. There are 4 main things you had to have. You had to have a quarterback, you had to have a wide receiver, you had to have a left tackle, you had to have a pass rusher, and you had to have a cover corner. Those 5 things. That no longer applies when it comes to tackles. You line up good teams with great pass rushers, line them up all over the field. Look at Myles Garrett, look at Micah Parsons. They line up all over the field. Max Crosby is another one. He can line up over the center and the guard. So what you're looking for agile tackles that can handle either the left or right side. Andrew Berry said that. There's a quote out there about him talking They might try Howard at left tackle because he had played left tackle, but you don't need these big, huge guys playing left tackle. First of all, they're not as agile. Second of all, it just does not work. You've got to be able to have two tackles basically being a left tackle. Both your right and left have to play like a left tackle. They have to protect the quarterback. By the way, Caden Proctor, too big. I mean, I'm sorry. You already got a guy in your roster, DeJuan Jones, who's that big. And he can't stay healthy. Every year he's got to lose 30, 40 pounds. Every year they say, well, he's lost 30, 40 pounds. Every year we see a video of him doing something. Why he's playing basketball, I have no earthly idea. I would shut that down immediately. And everybody says, wow, he looks good. And then what happens? Fourth, fifth game of the season, oh, a leg injury. Oh, then we find out Monday he's been put on IR. You've got that guy on your roster. I will say right now, and I keep saying it, if they stay at 6, they have to take a wide receiver. I don't care if it's Tate. I don't care if it's Lemon. They have to take a wide receiver. And then you work around looking for a tackle. Doesn't matter right or left. I like Fano. And you try and get a tackle at 24. Now, if they trade down, wide receivers still could be the option, but don't discount Caleb Downs. I know I was heavily against you don't take a safety when you have other needs offensively, but they do have a need at safety. And I understand the reasoning. I don't want them to take him. I want my wide receiver. I want my number 2 wide receiver right there, number 6. That's what I want. But I can understand the reason for taking him. Him and Grant Delpit would be an outstanding tandem in the safety. In the secondary, they would. So I understand the reasoning. But I also know that other things that everybody, they brought in one tackle for a player visit that we all know about, Markel Bell. But I've been told they have brought in a lot more tackles that they aren't announcing, and they don't have to announce who they bring in for player visits. So I have heard that they have brought in tackles, draftable tackles. Don't know who, but they have brought them in. So, and also this thing going around with Dylan Gabriel not in the building. I don't believe that for 1 second. Who reported it? What you get is people saying, well, there are reports that Dylan Gabriel's not in the building. Okay. Who reported it? No one reported it. He could be there. We don't know. Again, this front office does not leak. Reporters don't know what the hell is going on. I find it hard to believe that he's not there. It doesn't quite matter to me if he's there or not. Frankly, this quarterback room as it stands now is not very good. So I don't really care if he's there or not. Now everybody will say, Moken said he wasn't there. No, he didn't say he wasn't there. He said who he saw there. He said he saw because they asked about Shedeur. And Watson isn't there. Watson's in training down in Florida with Jerry Jeudy and Corley and some other guys. So the question was about Shedeur Sanders. And he said, well, I see him every day in the building and he's working hard. Nobody asked him about Dylan Gabriel. So just remember that. It's the questions and the answers that matter. So that's it for this wonderful Easter morning. I hope everybody enjoys their day. This has been the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I will be doing tax returns. It's what I do for a living. I enjoy it. Done it as a self-employed person, this is my 35th year. I used to work for my late father, who was a CPA, and my late mother started her accounting business before I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. So that's what I'll be doing. But I hope all of you enjoy your Easter Sunday. And as always, thank you for following, listening, watching, and subscribing with us here at the Fanatical Elves Network. We're just Browns fans like you. So everybody, have a great day, have a great Easter, and go Browns.